Today, we're gonna go over some of the most massive titles released on the PSP. Let's jump in. Grand Theft Auto Liberty City Stories is just one of the great highlights that the PSP wasn't going to be your average gaming handheld. Released in the early years of the console's lifespan back in 2005, this game is technically a prequel to GTA 3, but we'll count this as a close-ish port, as it essentially brings back everything gamers knew and loved about the PS2 classic, but now on the go. With almost little to no compromises made, all of the staples are here. The massive map of Liberty City to travel around, mission objectives to tackle on, and even introduced a 6-player multiplayer mode in the mix, doing all the crime-committing shenanigans with your friends. Star Wars Battlefront 2. Now we're up in the ante. This game was massive for the fact that almost every feature from the original console game was preserved here. Well, except the main campaign, online multiplayer, and a few missing maps, but the PSP port brings all the other modes, weapons, and vehicles back, battling throughout the various settings of the prequel and original trilogy films as either the Empire and Rebel alliances, playable Jedi and Sith Lords, as well as the inclusion of the starship battles. Battlefront 2 is strong with the Force on PSP. Speaking of Star Wars, the Force Unleashed was also brought for the PSP, literally bringing the full experience from the PS2 version on the go. Everything's back here for PSP, playing as Starkiller on your quest for vengeance, dual lightsabers, boss battles, and those awesome force powers pushing clone troopers all around. For racing entries, games like Gran Turismo and Ridge Racer are definitely standouts for their impressive translations from their big bro console games. However, one of the standout racers here was for sure Split Second. This one's a handheld version from the original games on the 360 and PS3. Known for its arcade-style racing gameplay and explosions, the game devs at Sumo Digital do their best here to recreate the magic from its original console showcase, bringing back most of the maps and Hollywood set pieces, pumping up those racing endorphins on the go. Tekken 5 Dark Resurrection is a fresh new coat of paint from the original PS2 fighting game classic. Tekken DR brings back most of the game's main modes, from story to arcade battles, but now with even more angst, thanks to its inclusion of 2 new fighters that are Lily and Dragunov, changes in a more darker art direction, character costume colors, and fighting arenas being altered slightly to fit the emo aesthetics. Also, Tekken Ball is back, baby! Lego Batman for PSP. What can we say? It's Lego Batman for PSP. Now, let's not forget the PSP did have some incredible exclusive original entries to offer in the mix, starting with Sony Ben's PSP games. Yes, before the meh reception of Days Gone, developer Sony Ben was known for their remarkable showcase of third-person cover shooters for the PSP, most notably in the Siphon Filter entries, Dark Mirror and Logan's Shadow, where players returned back to the PS1 action espionage franchise, but now everything up to the max, and possibly even better than its console predecessors in every way, thanks to its variety in going about mission objectives, either through stealth takedowns or full-on firefights, arsenal of weapons and gadgets, killer single-player campaigns, and online multiplayer to top off this amazing PSP experience. Sony Ben's last PSP entry with Resistance Retribution offers a fresh take from the PSP FPS trilogy. Although this PSP entry plays in third-person mode, it still includes all the thrills and chills of the horror atmosphere that the series is known for, even expanding on these ideas through this exclusive title through its campaign, sci-fi weaponry, and boss battles. Somehow, everything just works with Sony Ben's PSP offerings. The God of War PSP games, Chains of Olympus, and Ghost of Sparta. These games serve as prequels to the story of Kratos' vengeance towards the gods of Olympus, while showcasing just how beefed up the PSP can be in terms of graphical prowess and massive boss battle set pieces that started with the PS2 games. Square Enix was no shy contributor to the PlayStation handheld, and we're not just talking about their classic system ports from PS1 games, or even ports of some of the Japanese-only exclusive entries in the Final Fantasy series. No, games like Crisis Core expand on the lore and backstory of the classic that is FF7, offering a new approach at role-playing combat and progression. Dissidia Final Fantasy brings the series to the fighting game genre genre for the first time, but with a fresh new spin thanks to its use of large battle maps, aerial combat mechanics, and a wide selection of characters throughout the franchise's long history to team up and battle. Squeenix even surprised gamers with the release of Parasite Eve: The Third Birthday, a full-fledged sequel to the original PS1 cult classic that was exclusive to PSP? Yeah, pretty ballsy if you ask us. But regardless, an impressive feat all the more. Oh, and a full-fledged Kingdom Hearts entry with Birth by Sleep made its magic on PSP. Monster Hunter Freedom Unite, a bigger version of the original Monster Hunter Freedom 2 for the PSP, with more missions, equipment, and monsters to fight, including a new epic hunting quest, where you take on 4 different monsters in one single quest. Freedom Unite packs the most massive monster hunting experience on the go. Also the 5th best-selling PSP game of all time. And finally, Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker. Now, MGS was another franchise that had some offerings to the PSP, thanks to titles like Portable Ops and Metal Gear Acid. However, none had really captured the essence that the console games were famously known for, until, with the release of MGS Peace Walker, the circle was complete. Finally, the closest thing to a full-fledged MGS game we got on the PSP, with a full story mode, the iconic stealth action combat returning, the weapons customization options, boss battles, as well as the inclusion of Mother Base, a hub where players were able to snatch and recruit soldiers from the battlefield missions to join their army, send them out on additional strategic-esque combat campaigns to gain additional resources and expanding your base, further evolving the gameplay design for the series, even carrying over to its successor with MGS5. Without a doubt, Peace Walker is one for the books and an incredible one last final hurrah in the PSP's late lifespan. That's all we have for today. Make sure to smash like, comment, and subscribe for more awesome gaming videos. And we'll see you in the next one.